Hey Raindrops, the queen and king of reality show tour is back. Nene Leakes and I are coming to a city near you. Wednesday, May 13th, we are in Birmingham, Alabama. Thursday, May 14th, we're in Tampa, Florida. Friday, June 5th, Houston, Texas. Saturday, June 6th, Dallas, Texas. Get your tickets on sale now at kingdomreign.com. That's Kingdom, KINGDOM, Reign, REIGNENT.com. Can't wait to see you there. Hey Raindrops, thank you all so much who have subscribed to the channel. You guys have really helped spread the word, build this channel together, because I can't do this without you guys. And I know y'all want me to interview a lot of people, child, but in order for me to do that, I need to make sure my subscribers match the millions of people who do watch my videos. So all you have to do, okay, is hit the subscription button. That's it. I ain't asking for much, child. And enjoy this video.
Not you done bust in.
Hey! You called?
How you doing?
Hey, titties!
That's what I said. I looked at you and said, no, he didn't rival against me. Babe, I'm glad I brought out Coco and Chanel, honey.
Bitch, I had to break out Louis and Vuitton.
You are crazy. Come in.
Yes!
Come in.
No, Porsha, first of all.
Oh, no, first of all, you done took your shoes off and got
Yes,
comfortable.
honey.
Let me get comfortable with you.
I'm with Porsha.
Let me set the little cavallies to the side, honey.
Oh, yes.
Okay, set them over there.
Now, I did not
In
bring
case I need
any.
to click them and go to somewhere else, you know?
I mean, you're giving me Jessica Rabbit tease.
Am I? You know, you love all this. You are in your soul, you are still housewives, and I gave you Porsha housewives, because you like the cleavage and the hair and the, I know.
You knew
I
that.
knew that.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
You look
I miss
good.
you too. Thank you.
I'm so
I feel
happy
good.
for you.
I feel good.
No, I can tell.
I do.
What do you think brings
Plus, I
on
had a
this
little
film?
cocktail before we started.
Okay, is that?
So we on water now.
Is it Hennessy? No, we stop with that?
No. It's a little mixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm vegan.
You're vegan?
Honey, look at this body. You think this is my
I mean, but you work out all the time.
I know, but my titties are setting because.
And this waistline, what is it? Okay, Alondria.
Ah!
Alondria, put your sunglasses on there. Damn. But I've been doing a little something too.
No, you look good.
Yeah, I stopped breads and I stopped sodas.
Oh, yeah, no.
Sodas were killing me. I
No.
had no idea how much fluid I was holding with drinking soda. So ever
Yes.
since I stopped sodas, like now when I work out, Coco.
Hey, Coco, stay.
Okay,
Listen.
Coco, Chanel is paying attention. Coco, stay
And
in.
Louis, so Coco Chanel meet your brothers, Louis and Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton, yes.
You know I had to dress up for you.
And they look good. You look good. You
Thank
look good.
you.
I love that we go over the top for each other. We knew
I know! Listen, that's what we do.
We knew it.
Listen, this has been a year in the making.
Yes, it has.
You are literally, and this is no cap, you are literally my #1 most requested guest.
No.
I'm sure you see in the
Are you
comments.
serious?
Anytime I leave you like a love letter in your comments.
Yes, they know we have a love fest. They know
Yes,
it.
they're always like, when is she coming on the show? And you know what's so funny?
What?
The girls assume Porsha ain't fucking with Carlos. That's why.
What?
That's why she ain't going on his podcast.
That's what they think?
Yes, because I think, listen, everyone knows that you and I have this adoration for each other.
Yeah.
But there's also a thing called timing.
Yes.
And I want you to know.
Yes.
I want this interview on some real shit.
Yeah.
Okay? I want this to be.
You mean this conversation?
Exactly.
Because you're not about to interview me. Let's just be real. We're just going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, we got to catch up. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I know people are saying, like, oh, she probably don't want to do the interview. No. Like, I don't necessarily like interviews. You know what I mean? Like, you already know. I'm misunderstood a lot of times. So
Yeah.
I do interviews when I have to do interviews. And, you know, sit-downs like this can be a lot. But I'm like, you know what? I trust you, and I want to have more of a conversation.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
that's
intention
what
too.
this is.
Well, that's what this is. Because the thing is this. I've known you for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Did you ever think in a million years that the girl who started season 5 would become the face of season 17? And you are literally, and this is not me blowing smoke up your ass, and I hope you receive it if you haven't. You have become the face of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And what was so interesting about that is when we were together, I will always say to you, I believe in you. I think you're everything.
Yeah.
You are the little engine that could.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself being this woman who would be front-facing season 17 12 years later?
1 second. I got to move this knee. I'm over 40. You know I'm turning 45 this year. I'm turning 45 this year, and I got the wrong knee bent. Okay? Because if I wait the whole interview to bend it straight, we're going to have a problem. So let me just straighten it out right now.
Do what you do.
Yeah, let me do what I got to do for me, okay? Because we could be premenopause. These joints is screaming. Okay. We're going to reset. Okay.
Go
here
ahead.
we go. And this my corn showing. Goddamn. That's a lot to worry about at this age. But, okay. Back to what you're saying. Did I know back then that I would be in this place? I knew that I was bigger than my circumstance. I knew that back then, as hard as it was being on the show, being a loner on the show, I don't think people really understand I was a loner for the majority of time. Like, I didn't take part, or nobody asked me to be a part of any type of alliance or any of that. So I called myself kind of a flirter. I was kind of friends with everyone or none, you know what I mean? And, you know, I went through my life and I opened up for the cameras just naturally, you know what I mean? Just because at some point you realize this is meant for me, this is what I'm gonna do. So I didn't know exactly where it would take me, and now, yes, I appreciate the accolades. Yes, I appreciate being, you know, one of the more known people on the show. I don't know if I knew that. That really wasn't what I was ever seeking. I just knew I would be successful.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Because I never would have foreseen Nene not being here. I never would have foreseen Kenya not being here. Candy, I never would have foreseen it because we were such a sisterhood, such a family. And outside of a family, we were the business of Bravo. And I just knew that we would always be doing this together. You don't really see an end to it. You know what I mean? We owned it. It was our house.
Yeah.
So I would just hope, like, now I'm a good keeper of the house. That one day they may come back to, and even if they don't, I'm a good keeper of it. I'm gonna hold it down.
And
Okay, I'm a part of the fucking foundation.
You are. No, you are a solidified vet. Let me ask you this. When season 16 started,
Yeah.
you and Kenya were the vets that came back to sort of resurrect this soft reboot.
Yeah.
When Kenya got suspended from the show,
Yeah.
did it make you nervous in terms of, I have to carry this now on my own?
No, it didn't. And not because Kenya didn't have impact, because when I came back to the show after taking off for 3 years, I was excited to be in the same space as Kenya again. You know what I mean? And I didn't know what the hell that was gonna look like. I didn't know if she was gonna be riding me about my marriage or whatever, or my divorce. And I didn't know if we were gonna be making up and be grown women and try to build a friendship. But I knew that she was gonna hold a great space for me as in another leader in the pack.
Yeah.
And, you know, even though this is an ensemble cast and people now think, oh, I like being the, you know, the head person in charge. No, I love a strong cast. I cannot say that enough.
You do.
I do love a strong cast. I don't need to be the queen of nothing. We all queens as far as I'm concerned, because that means I can work a little less. I can work a little less. But you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Kenya having to leave, it did hurt me. It did, because I felt like we were able to just meet each other in a different space. I feel like the space that she and I had built, and yes, I'm gonna add myself in, whether the bitch bullied me for years or not, I'm gonna add myself in because everybody plays a part in a relationship. But I feel like the space we had grown up on the show in was very toxic. And I feel like my time away and her time away, when we came back this time, we wanted to get to know each other on a different space. It was more like, I respect you, you respect me. Damn, bitch, I missed you, you missed me. Forget the drama. Let's see if we can get to know each other because we're the last one standing. And so when she left, it wasn't so much as, dang, how am I gonna hold this down? It was, you gotta step up to the plate and do what you gotta do, you know? Now, unfortunately, when she left, I was divorcing. So I wasn't really in the space to step up. Like that year that she left was probably one of my toughest years coming back. I started the season going through a divorce. Drew and I were going through it. I just wasn't open emotionally to anybody on the cast except for Cynthia. And so, although I knew that there needed to be an anchor at some point, I wasn't ready to do that at that time. I wasn't even ready to open up to the show in that way, besides, okay, if I need to handle something in a moment, handle it. And when I left, I left. And that's really not the best way to step into that anchor position. I feel like this season, I'm more present. I'm healing. I'm at a better place as far as where I'm healing. And not to say that I'm the anchor or not. I think it's pretty obviously that me, Phaedra, and Cynthia are the anchors. Yeah.
When I look at you, Porsha Diane Williams.
Yes.
Okay?
Come on, government.
I'm like, you made it known that you can't count a bitch out.
No. Well, you can't count me out because God has counted me in. So there's not a person on this earth who can count me out. My destiny is already set. It is what it's going to be. It's a matter of whether I'm going to step into that place and own it or not. And I think at this point in my life, I am totally owning everything that is there for me. I'm owning my success. I'm owning my mistakes. I'm owning everything. So it was never anybody who could give it to me or take it away from me. It's whether I woke the fuck up and said, you know what? I'm that bitch, you know? And I'm that girl whether I'm divorced. I'm that girl whether I'm single. I'm that girl whether I'm kicked out of my house. I'm that girl whether housewives want me back or not. I'm that girl regardless. And when I started to really accept that and celebrate myself and envision my future without anything else besides me being empowered, then, you know, nothing could touch that. Nothing.
And it's funny because I look back at you season 6.
Yeah.
And
wait, what was going on season 6?
Oh, I'm about to tell you.
Okay, what?
Episode 1, season 6, second scene. The episode premiere started off with Nene and Greg opening up their wedding gifts. They just got remarried.
Yeah.
And then it cut to you. And it cut to
what
you.
was I doing?
You were talking to Randy Kessler.
Oh, yes.
And I remember praising you to the network that season because you were positioned as like this stepper wife.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? Season 5. And it was sort of like, well, who is she now? Who is Porsha season 6? And what I do want the world to know is this, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, and I never said this publicly. No one produced you season 6. No one gave you ideas, suggestions. You were so real and raw. And I remember marveling at your strength because when you were talking to Randy Kessler, and that's when we all found out that this man who you devoted your life to divorced you on Twitter first, which is how you found out. And not only did you have to find out he divorced you via Twitter, you were removed from the home. He kicked you out.
Right. Oh, 100%.
And then you had to live with your mother. And then I remember Miss Diane passionately declaring to the world that you were driving around your Mercedes-Benz and you had to ask your mother for $500. And my thought process at that time was, who you are today, do you feel like subconsciously, when it comes to the decisions you make in relationships or your career, Is it because you never want to be put in a situation where a man can kick you out? You have to borrow $500 from your mother. You have to move back in with her, and you have to start from scratch.
So for me, season 6 and having to re-enter the show, completely opposite to what I thought I was going to give to the camera. So, you know, I think that a lot of people, you know, nowadays, housewives come onto the show, they audition or not, and they get put on the show, and then they become whatever character they possibly think they need to be, right? And hey, good, better, and different. Maybe that's how people make reality TV now. But some girls, they do that.
Oh, yeah.
However, my mind frame and how I joined the show in the beginning was, I'm a wife. You know, I have a husband who was famous. You know, I have a certain pedigree from which I come from. And I wanted to unveil what a beautiful black family looked like. And that's what I thought I was coming to do. So it was no negative in my mind. And then season 2, reality kicked in and said, oh no, this is your real life. And the dotted line you signed on, they still got to see the ugly. And I think that is where I bought into my staying power on reality TV, and where I paid the price to have supporters be on this journey with me. When they realized that although I thought my life was perfect and I wanted to cook his meals, that at this point my mama got to cook my meals. You saw on camera, my mama got to bring me breakfast. My mama got to house me, clothe me, etc. I think when I was able to let the camera see that a woman can see herself through a man's eyes only, and then forget who she is, and then rebuild, that was important to show, is when I clocked in. I think that is, at that point is when I knew after that season longevity would be there. Because after that season of showing how broken I was, Candy was there for me during that. I think that's when she and I really got close. After being that vulnerable in front of cameras, knowing that was the opposite of what I thought I was gonna show, and I would meet people in the street and they would say, Porsha, it was because you showed what you went through. Porsha, it's because you decided to go through this and open up your family life, you know, open up and show that all what glitz and glows is not perfect. When you did that, you helped me. You helped me walk away from a relationship that might have been abusive. You helped me, you know, find strength in myself, or rebuild, or just reimagine what your damn life could be like. When I did that, that's when I said, okay, I'm now married to this world. And I decided that I'm gonna stick to it. You know what I mean? Like, not only, yes, there's a realistic part of the check being there, and that was great, but there was also a part of me that decided, this is who I'm supposed to be at this moment. This is a part of my life I'm supposed to show. Whether I become a TV host or not, whether I own multi-million-dollar companies or not, I'm also supposed to show the other side of being a woman and what we go through that may be embarrassing, may be hurtful, where a moment where I have to be vulnerable. At that moment, I knew this is a part of me. And it was on through the seasons, I wanna say maybe around season 8, is when I realized that it was, don't take this too deep, I know how people roll with my words. It was somewhat of a ministry to be able to basically show my testimony. Like, everything that I was going through it and giving that. I'm the type of person, if you meet me, and I don't care what you got going on. Now, it's a part of my ADD for me to want to relate to you while you're telling me a story. Like, you could be telling me a story, and my mind is running to find something similar to relate to you, right? But it's also a part of me, because it's a part of my calling to also, if I'm talking to someone, be like, dang, I went through the same thing, and this is how I was encouraged, or this is how I made it through. And TV, reality TV, became that vehicle for me to do that. Now, I'm not saying that I knew I was, you know, this powerful of a person to help change people's lives. I just knew that if I was real, if I ignored the cameras, if I just lived my life authentically, that it would help somebody. That's what I knew in the end. And that's pretty much what kept me doing this all this time.
Well, no, listen, and I don't think there's anything to be bashful about when it comes to your testimony.
Yeah.
You know, listen, you and I are very spiritual, and in my faith, God makes no mistakes, and everything happens for a reason, and you have to sit there and understand the role you played in the situation, but also how can I remove myself from the situation and grow from it.
Right.
And I think in your marriage to Kordell, a lot of that to me was, that was her first marriage.
Yes.
And you married a Heisman Trophy winner. And I will never forget him being on the radio and he said he was used to being heralded as Kordell Stewart, the Heisman Trophy winner, and he was now reduced to meeting people as
Porsha's husband.
Yeah. You remember that, right?
I do, and I was forewarned by Nene. I'll never forget, we were on the first trip that I took, where Kenya was spinning around and Nene was doing all she was doing. That's the first trip where Nene looked at me and she said, you realize what you've signed up for? Yeah. She said, first of all, your husband's pussy game is gonna go through the roof. And you know, my innocent self at that time, I'm only 30, I'm like, who game? You know, and what roof? And how they gonna get in contact with? She was like, no. You don't put him on this TV. You put him out there. And I was like, okay, wow. The second thing she told me was, it can only be one star in that house. And what was so crazy about her telling me that was, I can remember one time we had a disagreement, and he said those exact words.
He said what?
There can only be one star in this house.
He said that to
Yeah,
me.
and so, and listen, that's not taking anything away from him or taking anything away from me, but he was the celebrity in our relationship. And, you know, at that point, the Real Housewives fans are bigger than NFL, NBA, WNBA. They are huge, and they're very, very passionate. So no matter where you're going, they're gonna feel overwhelming. And at that moment, I think it felt like my stardom had risen beyond, you know. But, you know, she did forewarn me, and I just think in that marriage, it wasn't really a fault of his, and it really wasn't a fault of mine. Sometimes when two people get married, they can have an intention to have a particular life, but your upbringing also plays a part. So although I was born to be a wife, I feel, and I was raised to be a wife, and a part of my mind, have grown up so religious, was being a wife was the pinnacle. My mom had also empowered me. So see, I think I forgot about that part. When I met Kordell, I had my own childcare centers. I had two. And I was very successful. I lived in a penthouse. He lived in a penthouse across the street from me. And so I was very successful when he met me, but when he met me, again, the pinnacle and the identity to me was to be a wife. But while you are agreeing to be the wife, I became the housewife. I let go all my businesses. I let my penthouse go. What was deep in me that my mother had put was being an entrepreneur, being a woman who can empower herself, being a woman who can constantly grow, being a woman who can identify and say who she is when she gets to that place. And I forgot about that part. And so within that marriage, although I had agreed to be this cute little housewife, that burning desire to have something for myself, it had to come out. And I just was growing. I mean, I was 30 and I started to grow. And that just wasn't the marriage to grow in. It's not his fault. It really wasn't mine. Sometimes a marriage is not yours to grow in with that person. And that one just wasn't growable, so we both had to leave it. That's really what that was.
When you say you were raised to be a wife, were you raised to be a rich man's wife?
Well, you know, in the South, you want to marry up. I mean, that's just simple. I mean, you don't imagine yourself marrying someone where you're struggling. And, you know, I hate that me now being on TV, that kind of gets flipped, because at the same time, I was never struggling as an adult. I always, again, had my own very successful, et cetera. But when you say it, so many people don't understand that mentality because it's so old school. But yes, when you marry, it's like, yeah, you want to marry someone who can take care of you in the most traditional way. And in tradition, it is the husband who's the head of the household. He's the provider. He's everything. So not necessarily he has to be a millionaire, but his money is more important than yours. Hence, why when I got married, I sold my businesses and just depended on his, you know. So yes, part of it is definitely, you know, honoring your husband, putting him at the head of everything. But as I have grown, yes, if I ever get married again, I will still honor my spouse, but I know that I have a place in that marriage too. I know that it's a partnership. I know that we should be standing side by side. I know that what means something to me should mean something to them. So it's a little bit different now, but being 30 years old, you know, coming out of the gate, first marriage, I was set that way, that being a wife was the pinnacle.
What is so fascinating to me is this. I never even heard you say this. So when you was married to Kordell, you're like, I'm gonna be a wife, and I'm gonna like forget about my businesses, remove myself from it, and be a wife.
100%.
So when you married Simon, you quit Dish Nation, you quit Housewives.
No,
Go ahead.
So when I married Simon, this is what happened, and I guess this is a for the record type of conversation.
Yes.
For the record, okay.
For the record.
Okay, so for the record, I left Housewives for that break when I turned 40. I was around 40, and I had planned for that financially, mentally, everything. I knew that I had had my daughter Pilar. I knew that I wanted to experience real life in real time outside of the cameras. And I knew I was going to give myself that time to step away. So I had financially planned for that. You know, these checks are large doing Housewives. So that means I had been very responsible with my income to know I could walk away from that check. And I did so. Then I met Simon, and at that point, I was working at Dish Nation, and you know, I'm traveling with him and all that, and it's like, oh, well, babe, I want you with me, and he decided to supplement that income. Well, thank you very much. You know, so that's how that happened. I did not leave Housewives because I got married and I just walked away from Housewives. It was planned.
Because you know, the rumor is you left Housewives when you married Simon because you didn't want to deal with answering questions about that relationship.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, I've dealt with worse questions on Housewives. Yeah. And I even came back after the turmoil, so that would even be worse, right? No, listen, I've had my feet to the fire. I've been burnt. I've been everything on this show. There's nothing that I'm afraid of. I had already genuinely let Housewives know prior to that reunion I wasn't coming back. They knew that already. Andy knew that. Everyone knew that already. And that's before I even got with Simon. So, you know, I understand how it looks. And I'm the type of celebrity to where I don't chase after all the narratives that are out there. Do I think that some of them I probably should have addressed? Maybe. But I just don't do that because at the end of the day, I am a public figure and my life is out there and people are going to come up with timelines and this and that. And you just can't chase it. I got to be too busy living my life. You know what I mean? And by the time I came back to Housewives, I was in survival mode. So I'm not in a place where I'm worried about what people are saying, or I'm not trying to clear things up for anybody because I'm too busy really living my life.
So I remember, and speaking of clearing things up, because, you know, I love that I'm talking to the healed Porsha because...
Well, healing.
Healing, all right, because it's a progress. It's progressive,
there
right?
There may be somebody to take me back, okay?
No, we're going to have that happen.
No.
The princess of Finlandia has retired, honey. Yes.
Yeah, she has retired.
Yes, honey. So I remember talking to you, because I only contact you if I feel like my girl needs me. And it was a time that you broke the internet with a photo of you, Dennis, and Simon.
Yes.
And we were like, WTF.
Right, and I was like, WTF. I was. The next day I was like, what did we do? What is happening?
It broke the internet. And I remember you trended #1 on Twitter. And celebrities were even commenting on it. And I remember there was one thing that hurt your feelings that you said to me. And they had this Porsha soundtrack on Twitter. And the soundtrack was City Girls, I'll Take Your Man, or Alicia Keys' Unbreakable, you know, like all of these songs.
Leave Alicia Keys out in there. She's somewhere living her life and they on vacation with the one.
And I remember you being offended by it at that time.
Okay, yeah.
I'm only going back at that time. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I know you personally, and you weren't marveling at this. You really had a very hard time dealing with the things people were saying, because you knew some shit was gonna come, and you were prepared for that.
Yeah.
But you weren't prepared for people really referring to you as Porsha.
Right.
At that time, and then to see people try to weaponize you even on the show this season when it comes to that. Can you talk us about how you really listen? In your defense, and I said this on my show, when we cast new housewives or friend ofs, we assign a housewife to them.
Right.
I just did Cynthia Bailey's podcast, and I said to her, the network said, you're going to meet Nene, and hopefully Nene likes you. But Nene's going to be your friend, and that's who you're going to come in with.
That's just bringing you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember with Falynn, it was the same thing with you. And I remember saying to the world, like, I'm not Porsha apologist, but what I need you guys to understand as a producer is there wasn't a friendship there. And I think when it came to you, did you not think at the time that, oh shit, they're gonna think I took this woman's husband?
You know, here's the thing. I take full accountability for my part in the optics, okay? And I take full accountability for not speaking to the narrative once again. At that time, I just didn't feel like it was my place. You know, the things that I knew about her and his relationship, it did not feel like it was my place. You know, I had heard her do an interview and she was like, well, if I'm pregnant, I'll say so. Me, I'm a woman. I'm gonna respect that. If she wants to tell that about herself while that's on her.
Because you knew she was pregnant at the time, and you were protecting the story.
It was not my place.
It wasn't your place.
Yeah, it
right.
just wasn't my place to speak on. And I knew it very early on. You know, it was one of the reasons that, you know, they were where they were in their relationship. It just wasn't my place. And even though if I would have taken that information and put it out, would it have freed me from the shackles of the scarlet letter? Sure, it would have. But that's the price that I paid at that time to just stay out of it. You know what I mean? And for me, when it goes back to whether she was my friend or not, no, she wasn't. I also had text messages that showed the day I was gonna film, the producer sent me her number and said, hey, this is her number so you can meet her. I did not know her. I did not know anything. And of course, I filmed with her and, you know, fist pump Simon, did not even recognize him or anything. I had known him like 8 years ago, didn't even recognize him, had met her that day for the first time. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I know that people at this point are gonna believe what they wanna believe anyway. There's some people who hear my side and they're hearing it to understand. And then there's some people who are hearing me to figure out a way to trip it up and switch it up all over again. So I'm still responsible for me. I'm not gonna speak to his part. I'm not gonna speak to her part. I wish her well. I wish him well at the end of the day. That was years ago. I married him and we're now divorced, and pretty much that's that. But you know, when I think about it, yes, if I were to speak on some of the information that I had at the time, would it have made it better? Maybe, maybe. Because as a public figure and as someone who's been in reality TV, I can sit here and be telling you the absolute truth, and there may be 60% of people who just are determined to say, nope, you stole him. He was legally married, that's what you did, and that's what it is. And so I just paid that cost. Like, it is what it is. I just have to continue on living my life. That's one of the burdens of being a reality star, and people don't really want to hear all the truth. They really want to hear what's sensationalized. They really want to hear that. It's people who walk around all day. It's women on our show, Housewives of Atlanta, who were going through divorce and who are still dating. It's men who are going through divorce that are celebrities and they're still dating, but you know, I get crucified. So it is what it is. I own it and I've moved on. So you don't have to be mad at me about it. You don't gotta, you know, try to put me on a cross about it. It's done and it's over with for me.
Do you feel like there's an apology to give Falynn, or you think at the end of the day, it is what it is?
I think that an apology will be something that is close to taking accountability. I take my accountability for, you know, me not speaking to the situation. I think as far as her, I wish her well, and however she was dealing with her husband or had moved on from him or he had moved on for her, that's something for them to figure out. That's something for them to make amends with. It really doesn't have anything to do with me. But yes, I knew that by fault of the show, that's how it's gonna look. You know, you have to do the show and everybody has to look like friends. You have to make it look a certain way. No one's really thinking about the fact that this is a set and this is someone who's trying out, someone who's auditioning, and they're here and they're gone. You know, people don't think about that. And it's, at the end of the day, it's not my job to really enlighten you. It's fine, say what you wanna say, comment, and I'm moving on.
And when people say to you, when you and Simon were divorcing, that this was your karma, because I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah.
Did that hurt you, or did you also, do you believe that was your karma?
Well, if it was my karma, it's good karma. It's good karma.
Tell me how.
I'm in a great place. You know, although I loved him and I would have loved for our relationship to work out, what's best is where I am now. You know, sometimes when you marry someone, no matter what your intentions are, how hard you work at trying to make it, you know, be what it needs to be, and they may be thinking they're working at making a relationship work, it just doesn't work out, you know? And so I feel like where I am now and the way I know Porsha now, I think I'm in a better place. So if it was karma, it's good karma, you know? Because there are some parts of that relationship, I have to admit that I was falling back into old patterns way back with my first marriage. You know, giving up who I was to a certain extent. I love Dish Nation. I love doing that job. And, you know, when you think about it, it's like, oh, well, why did I just poof, give it up? I know why I gave up Housewives at the moment because I wanted to. But what was that decision making that made you say, oh, you've been doing Dish Nation for 8 years, you're just gonna leave it? You know, so when you start, as you're growing and you're learning who you are, me now being in my 40s, you start to recognize when old patterns are coming back. And sometimes when you are practicing old patterns, you end up with the same people who used to hurt you. And so for me, I started to look and realize, oh wow, I'm with the same type of person that is hurtful to me. Not that he tried to hurt me, but the box that I was being put in, it just wasn't best for me. And where I am now, I'm so open and free with who I am. I literally take snapshots on a daily basis of my life. Like, if it's something bad, I take a snapshot and think about how I got through it that day. If I'm spending time with my daughter, I take a snapshot, like, I'm so blessed to have my daughter. With my partner, I'm taking a snapshot. Wow, I own who I am and I get to have this type of happiness. And even in business, I'm making choices and decisions that I feel confident about. It's not like I'm being led anywhere. I own every part of who I am right now. And I just don't know if I would have been there only seeing myself through a man's eyes. And now I have true vision of who Porsha is. And I love it. Good, bad, or indifferent. I fucking love me right now.
Did he like your limelight, your star power?
He did, yeah. He did. I mean, who wouldn't? It's pretty glamorous to be a housewife. I mean, what's not to? Friends will call you who you haven't talked to in years. Family members calling you and want to know the tea from the show. Like, it's a very glamorous lifestyle for someone to enter into as my partner. And
did he like it too much?
That would only be for him to say.
Can I say?
Yeah. You can say what you want.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was, listen, in his defense, I met him once.
Yeah.
And he was lovely. I was surprised at the route he's going now with interviews and the Facetune photos and the avatar.
Well, I did that.
Okay.
I enjoy a Facetune.
Come on, blow up.
I enjoy, let me pull this down. We're taking an interview, but I enjoy Facetune of 2 or 3.
Well,
and if you're gonna be next to me in the picture, I'm gonna touch you too. And once I touched him once, it's like, hit me again, baby. And that's who you are online.
He kept the
now.
archives.
He snuck that app
it's
out
in
my
the famous
phone.
folder, child.
He got that app out my phone.
Do you know that people were making bets at your wedding, whether or not it was going to last?
I think that, unfortunately, there's a part of this world for me that is unfortunate. There are some people that truly do root for me, and then there are some people that feel like this young black girl shouldn't have all that. This black girl doesn't deserve the princess treatment. This black girl doesn't deserve somebody who, sees her worth and wants to treat her like a princess and wants to make her feel like she doesn't have to work and do what she wants to do and have it all, have her daughter and be with her daughter. Some people root for women to have that, and when they get it, they want to destroy it. And then there are some people who root for you to have it and they're happy for you. So am I surprised that those very people who were possibly at my wedding or online talking about bets and et cetera? No, I'm not surprised because everybody's not happy for you. And at the end of the day, if you live your life for people's cheers, it's gonna be silent at night. You cannot be listening to people's cheers. You cannot give a damn. You gotta live your life and make your mistakes and get your wins for yourself. That's how you have to do it.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
No, because seriously, the thing with you that I love is the fact that you have allowed yourself to be a woman who has, listen, you went through some shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I had a front seat watching that unfold as a producer. And to see how you're able to take all of that pain and turn it into purpose. I mean, you have this empire that you built for yourself. And what was interesting is when I was on The Breakfast Club, I was asked—
And again, thank you for that interview. The interview that you did on The Breakfast Club, and you dubbed me the Black Kardashian. Whether people want to say, why she got to be the Black Kardashian? No. We're talking about impact. We're talking about influence. We're talking about a vision for someone and what they can give to the world. For you to compare me to her, or just that level of impact, I truly appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? You didn't have to give me a flower. You could say, oh, Porsha, you know, she played dumb, but she really smart, and leave it there. You took it a step further, and you spoke to my character, and you spoke for the gift that you had seen long time ago. And you were celebrating where it is now. And I just want to tell you humbly, I really do appreciate you saying that, because not many people speak about me in that manner publicly.
No,
and I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome, Porsha. And I meant every word, because you have built a multi-million-dollar empire. Go Naked Hair. We're talking about the sheets, bitch. We're talking about a beauty campaign that you have with Cindy Crawford. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a black girl from Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, you really did do that when it comes to the multiple businesses that you have. And the reason why I said no, I think you guys, this is what I feel sad about when it comes to the perception people have of you. You're not dumb. You're no one's bimbo. You are a very smart businesswoman. You have passive income. I don't think people understand that your sheets brings in millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You have so many things going on for yourself. So for the world who may not know this, because again, they'll say, oh, she does housewives and whatever, talk to us about the many business endeavors that you do have.
Well, Go Naked just reached over $10 million in sales. And I've had Go Naked Hair 10 plus years. And that's a huge accomplishment for me and my business and my partners. And, well, not partners, because I don't have any partners, but I would say our staff.
You own it 100%.
100% own Go Naked Hair. And we just reached over $10 million. Pampered by Porsha, I've had over 7 years, and we have also reached over millions. What I have to say for people who say Porsha is dumb or bimbo, it's just words. Continue to do so. I mean, I post enough on my page. Sometimes people, when they come to my Instagram and they see some of my posts, they're like, hell, I didn't know I was on Porsha page. Because I will repost 265. Me saying 265 days a year. I will repost Underground Railroad. I repost it all. Because at the end of the day, who don't say crazy shit sometimes? Who the hell is sitting at home with their family and their family like, oh, you the bimbo of the family? Like, it happens. People say crazy things. It is what it is. But when it comes to doing business and having a mindset to build a very successful brand, I also have that. Women are multifaceted. I am goofy as hell, okay? I'm silly. I know how to have a good time. But I also know how to compartmentalize things in my life and make family and business a priority. I also know that I come from legacy, and I want to leave a legacy for my daughter. And I've practiced these things in my life a long time ago. And I do recognize that on TV, people love, like, honestly, it's so funny. If people are watching me on TV and I don't say something funny for a couple episodes, they're like, ooh, she too serious. You know, they need me to call Japan, you know, Tokyo, Japan, China, or whatever.
All of that.
They need all of that from me. And I'm okay with that. Like, have a laugh, because I'm going to have a laugh too. But just know, on my laugh, I'm laughing to the day of bank. You know what I'm saying? I'm handling business at the end of the day. And you know, for me in my real life, and I'm not saying housewives is not my real life, but with my meaningful friends, I talk to them about having a trust. I talk to them about, you know, doing their, having a trust, putting everything into that trust, making sure that they protect themselves, making sure they have great life insurance, making sure that their wills are in place, making sure, I mean, these are things that I'm talking about. It took me 2 years to do. I just finished one not long ago. These are things that I've done that people in my position don't normally think about. Yeah. People don't normally think about when you make money, okay, you know, paying your taxes on time and different things like that. I pay attention to those things. And anything that I don't know, I hire someone who's a specialist in that. And I have done very well at doing my due diligence with my finances. And it's okay that people don't know that, because a lot of times you don't need to know that. You know,
no, I think
just relate to me having a good time. That's cool too. You know what I mean?
I think you can do both. Especially for you, because you are, listen, and when I say this, again, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. When it comes to a current black woman on reality television who is currently on their show, right? Filming currently. You are the #1 black female reality star.
Thank you.
You are it.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? So when I say you're a black Kim Kardashian, I wasn't trying to compare you to a white woman.
Right.
What I was trying to do was say something that could make people be like, what does he mean by that, and do their research, right? Because it's okay for Kim to say, I got scams, I got all these things. You have Pampered by Porsha. You have Go Naked Hair. You have all of these things, and you get a cute check from Housewives, child.
Yes.
How much
And I have a all-around deal with NBC Universal. I have a
Right.
production company. I'm a successful actress as well. Like, I have a lot of things going. I think maybe some points I have done myself an injustice in not popping my shit. You know, like, my manager tells me sometimes, she's like, Porsha, it's okay to say these things. It's okay to speak more about the business side of things that you do. I think sometimes I shy away from it because maybe I lean in a little more on the housewife side when I'm doing housewife interviews. But, you know, I just did an interview for Forbes and had a very important insightful interview about my mind as an entrepreneur. My mother was an entrepreneur, very successful. She opened the first 24-hour childcare center in Georgia, probably all over back then, like 1982. My father was an entrepreneur. He also was an attorney. That whole side of the family are attorneys. He owned a chemical company. My grandfather, Reverend Jose Williams, owned the same chemical company, Terry Enterprise. So I have grown up with the entrepreneurial spirit. I've been working in business ever since I was 17 years old. But I'm also, you know, fluffy with the hair, also love to wear makeup. I also, you know, have this big charisma type of personality, and that's what won me over on TV. But now, where I am now, 2026 Porsha, I would love to show all aspects of who I am. And I think that's why this season in particular, season 17 of Housewives, I show up differently. And I think it's a little difficult for the girls to take. And I think it's gonna run the girls crazy. And it's probably gonna end up making them look like the bimbo, because I'm actually showing up as the other side of Porsha. I don't know if you remember, Paris Hilton did an interview, and she spoke about having ADHD, or I'm sorry, ADD. I'm not sure which one, but one of the two. And in that same interview, she was speaking in her regular voice. And she spoke about how she built her own business outside of her family's business. And people were like shocked, like, wow, that's another side of her. We thought she was just like, it's hot. No, bitch. She also told you it's hot. But she was making it hot at the bank. She was handling business, and it had nothing to do with her family, nothing to do with her billion-dollar husband. It was who she was. She just played off the other side. And I think I've leaned into that enough. And I think, again, and I know, I take it back, I know this season I showed up as who I am now. Porsha Williams, who's turning 45 this year. And, you know, when my daughter watches the show, people always ask me, they're like, oh, what do you think Polar's gonna think when she watches the show? What do you want her to think? Oh, I would like to see me evolve. I want her to see me and know that as a woman, you can reinvent yourself. How dare I come back this season and not show how present I am and who I am? And yeah, if something is happening to me, I ain't gotta show the back of my goddamn teeth like, yeah, girl, I did that. You know, I can sit up and have a real conversation with you and be like, no, I absolutely didn't mean to offend you by saying pregnancy. No, and if you took it that way, I take accountability. I want her to watch this season and see her mommy evolve. And I think I owe her that. I owe my young fans that who meet me and they say, I grew up watching you. I know that I owe the women who are my same age that as well, because they've gone through divorces, you know, miscarriages, they've gone through losing best friends, they've gone through losing businesses. They deserve to see me be present right now and show this new mature Porsha, who also has a good time, but that other side of who I am. So I'm really proud of who I was this season. I don't know how the fuck it's gonna be edited, but I know how I showed up, and I'm okay with that.
And I want to get into that too, but before I get to that, you talk about all your businesses. How much are your businesses worth?
I mean, I'm still modest. I know I just dropped the number of Go Naked sales, but I'm still very modest.
Are you the richest black female reality star on a TV show currently?
maybe you'll see Forbes coming up next year, and you'll be able to answer that question for yourself.
Are you worth more than $20 million?
Again, you'll be seeing Forbes.
Am I close or am I near the?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
You are. Are you blessed to where, you know, God poured me out a blessing where I may not have enough room to receive it? So.
Well, I got room to receive more than 20 million. Okay, baby.
Okay, honey.
I can
Let's get
receive
more.
all of it in abundance, Lord. Rain down on me.
Rain down on me.
I could receive all of it. But what I can tell you is what's in my bank account, it doesn't really speak to just, oh, it's just she got a lot of money. No, I have a lot of wealth. And I'm very, very rich in me. I know you don't like that fucking answer because you want to know how much money I got. But I'm very rich here.
No, I can tell you're rich in spirit, you're rich in skin, you're rich in beauty, you're rich in love. So you're worth more than $20 million.
Carlos, we're not about to sit here and
I think that you are the richest black female reality star that's currently on television.
Listen, I have earned my place. And I have been very responsible of finances. My businesses are successful because I have always been the type of public figure, I just can't put my name on anything. I can't. I had all kind of stuff come to me. But when I tell you my Pampered by Porsha Sheet Company, that derived from the love from my mom, napping in her bed while she was at work. Go Naked Hair came from me going through a divorce from Kordell, and I'm like, I know, I had to find an identity. And I found it through hair, like fun hair. Like I wore my hair like this today because I'm like, I feel fucking free. You know, I wore red because I'm boss bitch. You know, hair is a way for us to express ourselves. I wore a bob on Housewives when I need to handle business. I only partner and do businesses that I am very passionate about. So I know I'm always going to be successful when it comes to business. I wrote a book, by the way. Go ahead and drop that shit.
Come on, Pursuit of Porsha.
Hello,
I read it.
My well. I wrote a book because at this point in my life, I had been asked many years to write a book. Many years. And I just felt like I wasn't ready. I was like, well, I'm ready to book. My life is still going. I still have so many things. But at this point in my life, I said, you know what? This embodies where I'm at. The pursuit of Porsha, the pursuit of who I am authentically is a big deal. And it's a big deal to me relative to my life and being a reality star, right? Because as a reality star, everybody tells you who they are. Oh, you this, you that. They're judging you. You can, shape yourself by what people are saying to you. So for me to be in pursuit of Porsha and really understand who I am, find my power, find my purpose, it's something that's relative to me in the reality world, but it's also something every woman and every man has to do. At some point, you have to let the shackles go of what society is telling you. Oh, you got to have kids by a certain age. Oh, you can't date a woman. Oh, you can't, you don't need to be in that business. Hell, your damn mind may be working against you. Your mind may be telling you that you're a fucking imposter. You have to let go of all of that and say, no, I'm going to be in pursuit of what's in my heart. Because at the end of the day, what ended up being in my heart is what God gave me. Mm-hmm. And I used to say that all the time before. I used to say, you know what? We have God's gift in us. We just have to tap into it.
Yeah.
And so this book was the very moment where I said, you know what? I want to let the world end on the Porsha outside of the show. The Porsha outside of the giggles, outside of the controversy, who I really am and how I got to where I am. And so I just feel like at this point in my life, I'm very open, I'm very honest, but you're not gonna get me to tell you how much I'm worth.
No, I feel you. No. I got you. When I see it in Forbes, hey Jabari, when I see it in Forbes, just know you heard it here first, okay?
You heard it here first.
She's number one. I want to get to season 17. I love this season. I actually, and I told you this, I loved last season too.
Yeah.
Even
though I felt like I was going through, you was like, I love it.
I said, I love it. You said, bitch, this is crazy. I said, I love it. But I'm going to tell you what I did not love.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Carlos, because you are the producer of the producers when it comes to Housewives. Baby, I can tell you one thing. I wish you was on that season. I mean, I do give respect to the producers we had.
No, they're all amazing, yeah.
But, baby, if you was on some of these recent seasons, it would
thank
be
you. You're so
insane.
sweet. No, I don't love what happened between you and Shamea.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I was there with you from the beginning.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know how much love there was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember last season when it felt like there was this air that Porsha did not want to share the spotlight with her friend.
When was that air?
It was the air of, listen, we're gonna speak candidly. Shamea did an interview with Candy and intimated that you did not call her when she got the peach, right? Yeah. And you eventually sent a text or something, then you cleared it up and said, I called you, then you didn't answer, I text you. But besides all of that, one thing I said on my Monday Night Live show, I said, I need to know this, and I said, I gotta ask Porsha this whenever I sit with her. Did Shamea ever once come to you and say, hey, friend, I want to be a housewife of Atlanta. Put your girl on.
First of all, I'll say this. I shy away from talking about Shamea in recent interviews, just because in season 17, she did something so low down, so disrespectful, so hurtful, and so unwarranted that I do shy away from speaking about her. Because what ended up happening out of nowhere, it was something that just taught me, okay, you really probably shouldn't speak about this person too much. You should probably just, step back and let her have it. You know what I mean? It really got to that place. And because at the end of the day, this show, yes, it's a show, but our friendship was real. Mm-hmm. And her still being on the show, I had to come into this season knowing, okay, you know what? We're no longer friends. We no longer have a relationship at all. But you know what? She's got her position and she should shine, period. Like, she's gonna shine. I always knew it. I always rooted for it. It's all I wanted in the beginning for her. It's all I would root for behind the scenes for her. And just because she and I are not close or have any relationship doesn't mean we can't be on the show and just coexist. And so I tried to do that the best of my ability. But it did get very bad in the end of the show. Like, she ended up bringing something, and I was like, this is out of the blue. Like, we had actually started kikiing and stuff, and it just, so I do shy away from speaking about her, just because I just don't understand what's there. It seems to be something that I'd rather not engage with. I've just moved on. It's a lot of women on this season. It's almost, 9?
There's 8 housewives.
It's 8 housewives.
Cynthia makes a friend of 9.
9, yeah. So it's a lot of people to engage with. So it really doesn't take that much away from the show. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like because she and I aren't close that it's taken away. It's not. I found my people, she's got her people, and that's pretty much how we work it.
I'm gonna move on from her and stick to season 17.
Hold on, you got something on your eyelash right here.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
You wanna blow it?
Yeah. With my Hennessy breath.
Oh my God, Porsha blew on me! Talk about a good blow.
Best blow you ever had.
Yes.
Okay.
The night is still young.
Yes. Swear.
But what I will say is this.
All I can do is focus on where the love is for me, where the friends are for me, where the people who want to understand me. I can say that this season there are some people who feel like they are set on not understanding me because of certain alliances. I do feel like there are people who might have been colored against wanting to truly get to know me. And I can tell that because if I'm coming open-armed and, authentic and apologetic or honest or loving, how could you not want to understand that? How could you not accept that? But for a couple people, it's not being accepted, and that's cool. It is what it is.
One of the things that happened in a recent episode that I would like to get you to clear the air on was the conversation about that K. Michelle had the miscarriage comment.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the comments. It seemed to be pretty split, whether or not you intentionally meant it to harm her or it was just something that, you know, you said off the top of your dome. You are somebody who is an ambassador for the March of Dimes. You are somebody, again, going back to season 6, where you talked about having a miscarriage, right? And you cried about the fact that you were there for a week and Kordell didn't only showed up one time.
Right.
Like, this is something that you have, you know, dealt with.
Right.
What would you like to say? Because K. Michelle did do tweets even after the episode aired, where we saw the episode end and it seemed like y'all hugged it out, everything is good.
Yeah.
But then the tweets started to happen afterwards where she sort of is doubling down on she doesn't trust you. What do you have to say about that?
I think that's another situation where someone has decided that this is the route they need to take. I don't think this is the route that K. Michelle needs to take or has to take. I think it's the wrong road. But at the end of the day, if you have been watching the show and then you are finally on the show, you decide this is how you're gonna enter, this is how I'll make my mark, then it is what it is. This is the game she decides to play. And I only say that because whether or not, and I will say, when I said it to her, I had first asked her, was it okay? Did she want to openly speak about her situation? Number 2, the reason why I asked her, did she want to speak about it on camera, is because I didn't know specifically what it was. No one told us. Even when I text K. Michelle prior to that scene at the nail shop, I was like, hey, you in the hospital? You know, are you okay? She said, oh yeah, you know, I had to have a procedure or whatever. She never told me what it was for. So I had no idea which part of her was, you know, a problem. I had no idea. So, of course, as a woman, I know we making TV. It is what it is. I'm not gonna just sit here and start asking her about what she was in the hospital for, what procedure, if she's not ready. So I wanted to first say, hey, are you good talking about it? Because at the end of the day, I don't care if this is our job to speak about personal stuff or not. I don't care if she talks about it in a scene with her doctor on camera or not. If I then need to pivot the conversation away from specifics, I'm gonna do that. But she said, yeah, I'm okay, yeah. And she proceeded to tell us what was going on. Unfortunately, she was burying the lead. I mean, she went on to the story for a while before she even mentioned it was her bottom. During that time, you know, we're standing there and I'm like, oh, what she was describing mirrored what I had been through. You're sitting there in a pool of fluid. Same thing had happened to me prior to having Pilar. Pilar's my rainbow baby. But I had a miscarriage at home by myself, woke up, same thing. So I was like, oh, so it came to mind, was it a miscarriage? Right after that, she giggled and said, girl, I thought the same thing. We moved on with the conversation. She continued to describe more fluid that did not have blood. Cynthia then said, like your water broke? We're women. All of us are in a trusted space. We all have uteruses, vaginas. And we're talking about things that we all have been through. We're all trying to relate to her for her to open up and, you know, talk about what she's got going on. So in that moment, I didn't feel anything. I didn't, you know, think that anything had offended her. It wasn't until I met with her at the lunch table and she was like, oh, what's when you said miscarriage? I was taken back, you know, like, oh my God, how could you think that I would, you know, try to offend you or, you know, call you out or even, oh my God, make fun of you about a miscarriage? And I could have gone all like, well, how could you think? But I said, you know what? Respect how she feels. Whether she thinks I meant it, whether I did not mean it, whatever my intentions were, this is how she feels. So in that moment, I said to her, I apologize. Forget my excuse of, oh, I have been through before, because none of that fucking matters. If you genuinely feel like what I said offended you, okay, I hear you. And I'll never do that again. I'll be careful and make sure that I temper or wait till you go ahead and say what was going on. So in that moment, I felt like we handled that conversation very adult, very mature. And I remember telling her at that lunch table, I said to her, I said, what I want to do with you, I want to show you how I friend. And I'm not saying that I friend better than her, but I wanted to give her a different experience in Atlanta because she had cried to me about being in Atlanta and having a friendship group, which was from Love and Hip Hop, and they treated her wrong and they ran out of here and they were so unfair to her. And I told her that day, that day she told me that story, and I told her that day at that lunch table, I said, I know what you've been through, and I know what triggers you have. I know you could be sensitive. I said, I want you to know I'm not that girl. And the people who I have around you, Cynthia and Phaedra, we're not those girls. I am the type of person, I want to protect my friend. I want to be there for you. And I'm genuine. So I told her, I'm going to show you how I friend. And the way we're having this conversation right now, I appreciate you coming to me. Let's talk about it. I also want to talk to you. Now, at the time, I had no idea she had done a whole scene with Pinky and a scene with Cynthia calling me dumb and a this and a that. I was like, oh, goodness.
When you watched it for the first time, how did it make you feel?
So when I watched K. Michelle go, when I watched Michelle, her punishment was too hard for what she called the crime, I said, okay. I picked up my phone and I texted her, because that's how I am. Ask Candy, ask anybody, ask Sheree. If you do, I'm gonna text right away as I'm watching the show. And I said, hey, I just want you to know, I'm watching a show and I see that you still didn't feel, or you were still upset with, me speaking to you about the situation. I said, I want you to know I am sincere and that I never would have wanted to offend you about that. When I spoke with Shamea, she never told me any detail. You never told me anything of a detail of your bottom. I never would have done that, and I just want you to know from my heart, even though I saw her call me all them names, I was like, fuck all that. Let me make her as a woman understand that at the root of it, I never would have made fun of you. She said, okay, I truly appreciate that, etc. And, I appreciate you reiterating that you didn't know or blah, blah. So I said, okay, cool. Put the phone down, we were done. Oh my God, the next day, she's tweeting saying, oh, well, what if you was to die? What is you doubling down? And I was like, okay, I see what I'm dealing with. And listen, I don't want to go too hard on K. Michelle. I'll just say this. In general, as a person, in any space, you could be at work, it could be a family member, it could be a friend. If you are in any group and you are talking to somebody and they don't have a heart to understand you, they don't want to understand you, it could be for whatever reason, ratings or want to be right or just want to see you as wrong, they're never going to understand. They're never going to actually say out loud, oh, I understand, because they're too busy trying to do something else, whatever that else may be. So I said, okay, cool. So at this point, I know what else happens in the season. And although she's funny and she's adorable, I don't know how it's going to go over. I don't think that what was happening with her and Drew is going to go over as well as maybe she thinks it will. I don't. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think that when she looks back at this first season, she'll probably be like, oh, I probably chose the wrong team. And I probably should have gone about things in a more authentic way. You think
the team that she chose in the Shamea, Pinky,
Kelly? I don't know, because I wasn't privy to those conversations. Okay. I wasn't, I'm not a part of it. You know what I mean? Right. But I think that she is a cool girl, but Housewives isn't that. Housewives, at the root of what our fans want to see, back in the day when you were producing this show, it's about what's honest. And if you're talking to someone, we wish somebody would apologize to us back in the day. We used to be like, damn, can you just apologize? Can you just understand you hurt my feelings? And you still wouldn't get an apology, or whatever it was. And if you had an issue with somebody, it was a real damn issue. You felt it. You really felt it. And so that's what this is. It's not like little knick-knack, paddywhack, let me just drag this bitch for a bone. No. We used to have, we used to have real stuff going on. So when it comes to the audience looking at the show and they're like, she said she was sorry. Even if she did do it, she apologized and you still riding it, this looks like you're trying to drag it. This looks like you're doing the most. And so, but it's her first season. She was already an established star. She will be a star far beyond this show. She will have a great career on this show. I just think that this season will probably be a learning lesson for K. Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, I need you to know you broke my heart.
Why?
Because I'm gay. And you're gay.
Oh my God!
So, of course, my surprise, I'm like, we're both a part of the community.
Yes!
Okay, so I'm the G.
Okay.
What are you? What letter?
I'm the P.
Pansexual?
Porsha sexual. Porsha sexual, bitch!
Well, bitch, watching the show, I watched Sunday's episode. Mike came back. I said, wait, bitch. Mike started it, then it was Sway. Mike came back. First of all, in that closet.
It's the Bachelorette on Housewives. It's the Bachelorette on Housewives. I put both shows together.
Would you do the Bachelorette?
No, I'm very much in love. I'm very much happy where I'm at. No.
Who you in love with?
I'm in a relationship with Sway.
Oh, wait, it's official?
Yes.
No, meaning, are y'all dating or in a relationship?
We're in a relationship.
Y'all are girlfriend.
Yes, that is my partner.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah.
So I lost my chance.
For quite some time now. Oh, yeah, sorry, baby. We can flirt from afar, because she know you ain't going to do nothing. We can flirt. We can bump titties. You know that?
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So when did you know you was into women?
I always knew.
I knew at 7 I was into boys.
I'm pretty sure around that time. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to hunt you, everybody. It didn't matter, girl, boy. We just come over. How can we put these two things together? Let's bump belly buttons. And I didn't care what was below the belly button. So at that point, I said, yeah, maybe so. Yeah, you think I'm serious. It didn't matter. It didn't. I had me a girlfriend in elementary school and everything.
You did not have a girl in elementary school, Porsha.
Yes, I did. She had blonde hair. We used to go to the tire back.
You was in an interracial relationship?
Yes, I was. Oh my God, I never said this before, but yes, it's true.
Okay. My first boyfriend at 7 was Alan. He was a white boy.
Really?
That's why I was laughing.
Really?
I was 7. I lived in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I was definitely at a private school, and we definitely had our favorite tire. We go over there and do a little smooch. Yeah, just little and just cute and whatever. But yeah, I mean, but as an adult, when you're really thinking about your sexuality, I knew that I was attracted to women. I just never envisioned it being like a true lifestyle. And I think that with what came with my last divorce came me honestly saying, what do I want for my life? Where could my heart lead me? If I were to ever be in another relationship, how can I do that as authentic as I can? What does that look like? And so as I dated Mike and as I dated Patrice, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go with the energy that feels the best to me. I'm gonna go where the energy and the love feels like home. And I found that with her. I just found it with her. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do just like I do any other relationship. I'm gonna walk bold in this. And it ended up being like the biggest coming out story ever. But to me, it felt natural because I was doing something that was true to me. It didn't feel like, oh my God, now Porsha's dating a woman. Everybody else probably reacted to it way more than I was in the moment. I was just enjoying her, and you know me, I'm a hopeless romantic. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to scream from the rooftop. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs to know, I am with her, and I am happy, and it's the best thing ever. And so I think that's how I presented it.
And you're in love.
I'm in love.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And listen, my advice to you is this. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to rush into in terms of like marriage and all that stuff. Like, when I look at you now, I've known you for over 10 years, and I will say this, and I mean this. This is the first time where I feel like you're lighter and freer. You feel like you feel more freer than you've ever been in your life. Yeah. And I think a lot of it had to do with, and I resonate with this, and I do understand what you mean when you say sometimes karma is a blessing. Yeah. And it determines how you look at it. And I think everything you have gone through, Porsha, led you to this woman today. You are operating your purpose. Yeah. You're operating your pursuit of happiness. I see that just based on everything you're doing. You have matured in ways that makes me proud to call you a friend. Aww. Makes me proud to call you a star. You are all of those things to me. Yeah. And I want you to know that me and the rest of the fans, the Porshas, the Porshas. We call them the Porshas and the PJs. We're very proud of you. And I really want you to know that.
Thank you.
So what can we expect for you next, though? Because it's gonna be wedding bells in the future, or another baby you want?
The baby subject is difficult. It is. I just so happened to go to the doctor today and found out that my fibroids have returned. So when it comes to the fertility journey, it's one that just doesn't stop. You know what I mean? And fibroids are unfortunately the gift that keeps on giving. And so I don't think that me being able to carry a child is in my future. So that was difficult. That literally just happened today.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So I don't know what that looks like. I definitely always wanted another child. You know, Pilar is my world. She's everything. And I knew she was going to be my world. I knew she was going to be my lifesaver. I knew she was going to give me purpose and drive and everything. I just did want to add. I did want to have another child. And so I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not rushing it, you know. Look, us as women, we're always on the time clock, you know, especially at my age. I actually think I'm probably premenopausal. I talk about it all the time with the girls on the show. I talked about it. It was a great conversation I had with the girls on the Ultimate Girls Trip because they're women of a certain age. We just go through a lot. And, you know, when it comes to thinking about having another child, I'll just have to see how that works out. You know, fortunately, I'm with a woman who's younger. You never know. But I don't.
Would she carry like the brat did for Judy?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Those are conversations to be had later on.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what my body was doing.
Right.
And unfortunately, I am, you know, that's not in, you know, physically, I'm not able to do it. But, you know, as far as envisioning marriage and all those things, of course, I would love that. But I definitely am enjoying where I am. I'm thoroughly enjoying Porsha. And I thoroughly enjoy how I'm showing up in this relationship. And it's just so good. Like, where we are, we're taking steps. You know, in the past, I've skipped the damn steps. Honey, I'm like, okay, 3 months in, we looking at rings. What we doing? Let's get married, big wedding, let's plan. You know, but I'm enjoying these steps with her. And yes, she knows how fast I have moved in my past in relationships. And she can respect that now I'm slowing it down with her. She's slower paced herself. You know, she's 41 years old. So we both know that this next relationship for us is one we are truly invested in, one we want to be a forever relationship. I would love for her to be my forever partner, but I'm willing to do the work. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing right now. We're doing the work, and we're just fucking enjoying each other. I mean, you can see my Instagram. We're having a ball.
No, I know. I blocked her. So.
You so bitter. Bitter Betty.
Child, the blocks away, honey. I'm like, I want to see this shit.
I know, honey. And she on the same time I'm on. Baby, she just as extra as me. Honey, if you a hater, you just gonna be sick.
I'm sick. I'm a hater.
Let me tell you, just unfollow us right now.
I can unfollow you though.
No, unfollow me.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do me like that.
I do like that.
You're gonna have to see it.
Okay, fine. Sway, I will unblock you. Okay, we'll do that. But look, I've enjoyed this. This has meant the world to me.
Me too.
It has been long.
Oh, you asked me what's next up. Don't skip that.
Oh, I thought it was Sway was the answer. But
Sway is most definitely a part of it.
What's next for Porsha?
Well, I am definitely going to be producing more with my production company. I'm also really thinking about releasing Volume 2 of The Pursuit of Porsha. I'm thinking about it. And also, Go Naked is expanding again. So we have Cynthia Bailey, who has, and by the way, can we just give it up for the Cynthia Bailey wig?
Is that the Cynthia? Oh!
Yes! This is her.
I love it.
This is her wig, raw version, hair. This is the kinky. I'm obsessed. I'm like, Cynthia, I can't damn take it off. So Cynthia has her own wig line. She has 2 different textures. She has this texture, kinky. She also has a highlight wig. Then Drew Sidora. Yes, we love Drew Sidora. So Drew Sidora's back home, honey. My baby came back to me.
Okay, she missed you.
She missed me, I miss her. So we're back, and she has her own line as well. She has blonde, and she has a beautiful auburn wig with us as well. And I have a couple other celebrities who are in line to also do their own wig line. So Go Naked is totally expanding. Pampered by Porsha is expanding. We're gonna have duvets, printed, everything within the next year. So I'm just really excited for what's to come. And I have to say again, before we leave, to you and to supporters, thank you for being on this journey with me, honestly. I truly love you all. I know that over the years, you all have had to give me tough love. I know that that a lot of people, when it comes to my type of celebrity, because you know on my show, some people can do stuff nobody give a damn about, right? They don't could care less. But me, they really care about everything I do. And I don't say that like, oh, you care what I do. No, I say because they actually care. They've been on this journey with me. They have, you know, hopes and dreams. They have things they want me to do and like, oh, don't do that. But I appreciate all of it, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, it comes with it when we're family. And I really do feel like a lot of the Housewife fans feel like my family. A lot of them coming to me in person and chastising me, honey. They be like, girl, you need to, you should've. And I'm like, okay, auntie, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that from the bottom of my heart, you know, while you're here in my home, in my heart, in my space, that I love you and I love everybody who has supported me and, you know, just been with me and continue to rock with me because it's a lot to come.
What do you think your father and your grandfather is saying about you in heaven when they look at you?
Wow. I would say that my father in particular is proud of the woman who I am. I know that he in particular would have wanted to be here to be protecting me in a lot of different ways. And I didn't have that protection, but I had to build it. I had to, you know, ask God to step in his place. And I think that he would be glad that I made it to this space. He would be glad that I didn't give up and I survived, you know, because when you're growing up and you have parents, you don't think about them dealing with depression. You don't think about them trying to rebuild or reinvent themselves. You just like, Daddy, do I have this? Mommy, do I have that? And I think now as an adult, him seeing me and my siblings, he would be glad that we fought through and that we've become the people we are. And as far as my granddaddy, he would love that I'm badass. He would, because he was. He was the most badass civil rights activist you have ever seen. He was the one who was the bull in the china cabinet. He was the one who would rally everybody together. He's the one, when he spoke, you heard passion and purpose. And I think when I have a lot of moments and I get to speak and I have passion and purpose, I think that's him speaking through me. I think that's him empowering me as well to know that I can do anything, I can speak life into anything. So along with my mother, I know that they're the forces that are behind me and just taking care of me out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? And I truly appreciate it. I appreciate you asking me that. I don't get to think about them often in these spaces. So I appreciate that. I do.
No, of course. They're here, so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
Let me get up and hug you.
Love you, babe.
I love you.